What's going on, guys and gals? Stock Jock here, up $546 in the first hour of trading. I finished the day up $987, so definitely made some trades later on in the day that kind of boost that total. But $546 in the first hour of trading, an hour's worth of work. I'll take it all day long. So let's get into the trades. All right, so this first trade was on MTSL. What I was looking for here is you can kind of see the daily chart. It had this huge spike up here for the second time. Actually, the first time was here. Retraced all the way down. This next spike happened, and now we're kind of getting this well, I've been waiting for, I should say, the curl on the daily chart to go candle over candle on the daily chart to maybe set off a bigger move. And we kind of got that today, although it didn't pop like I thought it would. So you'll see in a second when I run the clip, it was kind of more of an L2 play. The price was sitting around, you can see I got in at 245. The price was sitting around 244, 245, and I'm thinking about, and there was a big seller on the ask, it was about 10,000 shares, and I had my hand on the trigger. This is kind of one where you kind of just have to sit there and watch paint dry, but my thought process is if volume comes into it, it looks like that 10,000 share seller is going to get bought out, then it'll get a pop, it'll create some momentum, we'll head towards 250. People that play half-dollar breaks, they'll jump in, create more momentum, we'll get volume spike, and we'll break the high from yesterday. This has been a pullback here. I've been just waiting for a candle over candle. That high right there is 258, so just looking for a break at 258 to send, or to signal that it's curling and maybe some volume will come into it. Everything happened according to plan, except the fact it did on this pop. It did not break. What is this? 258. You can kind of. This is what I'm looking at right now. This is the high when I hover over a candle. 258. Kind of see it right there. So what did we get to? All right. Here's where I played it. Got in at 9:46 a.m. Got that pop through. The 50-cent level, it hits 257, or pop through the 250 level, hits 257, and sells off. So the reason why I gave this a second, I was really hoping that it could break it, and it just couldn't do it. It popped up, and at one point it was the bid was at like 256, and I'm like, okay, here we go, and it just sold off, and then the bid went to 241, and I was like, that sucks. So when I saw that, I'm not trying to hold anymore. I'm just trying to get out with profit if possible. And when the bid got up to about 247, I started exiting slowly. If I would have dumped all 3,000 shares, I took 3,000 shares on this one. If I would have dumped all 3,000 at one time, there's a good chance it would have flushed me out. So I exited 1,000 shares at a time slowly, and you can see 247, 247, and then 243, and it just didn't work out. I made $20 though.
U.S. tariffs.
So now the question is whether it'll break over 12.
All right, I'm long MTSL, 245. All right, here we go. 250 break. All right, MTSL needs to break 258.
ALGN, Align Technologies, dropping to the low 358.02, down 2267, Alpha Lima Golf, November.
All out. Basically, I made $20. It couldn't break it. All right, so this next trade is actually a large cap stock. Facebook obviously is a large cap stock, and it's a strategy that I rarely get to use because I don't really trade large caps, but it worked out well this time. So what it is as you can see, this is Facebook just selling off here out of the open. This is about 941, all sold off all the way to 952. All right, it's set in a bottom here. It defended this 176 level, and it did it for 2 minutes. It defended it, and it popped back up, came back down, and defended it again. And what I liked it, there was a big seller there. I think I remember a big buyer there defending the 176 level. And what I like to do sometimes is, is kind of play with these large cap stocks. If it's a very significant level where some support has been set in and buyers are stepping up at that level, and you can kind of see that, and if it's going to break, it might take 2 or 3 times of testing that level to finally break it. And what I like to do is maybe buy around, and in this case I bought it at 176.20, but if I could have gotten a fill in the teens or even in the single digits, I'll take that as well. If it looks like that whole dollar level of 176 will break, I'll just stop out for maybe -5, -10, whatever. But a lot of times it'll test that level and bounce off it, like it did here. It tested this level, it bounced off it. Now this I wouldn't have played this one because this is the first time, and a bottom wasn't set in yet. Like here, we had a level, call it 177, right? It tried to defend it, broke through it. So here it set in a bottom, tested it, and defended it here. So I went long as it looked like it defended it, looking for a bounce, and I got a very nice bounce. In fact, I really thought Facebook was going to reverse course and rip, and you'll see that I was up very nicely on it, and it came right back down, and it made this like ugly 1-minute candle that I did not like. I ended up having to sell for about a $300 win on 1,000 shares, but I was up about 1,300, so kind of unfortunate for me. It did end up moving higher, which is even more unfortunate, but I just didn't like this candle, and I was thinking to myself, well, I've got to lock in profit, and I just happened to just play this terribly, but nonetheless, it was a good trade.
X 186.
China halted again at the high, 36.98 on that.
So double bottom so far. If this can hold, I'll play with 1-minute candle over candle probably on Facebook.
14.5% again, the information saying that company is a possible takeover target.
So only 186 bucks.
I'm in Facebook. So, 176.20. I'll stop out at 176 break.
But you never know. So watch it above 520. I'm thinking it's just going to be. It doesn't seem clean though.
Go Facebook. Go make me some money. Go make me some money, Facebook. Go make me some money, Facebook!
Pfizer. Traders circulating questionable, unconfirmed chatter that an activist has taken a large stake in Pfizer and calling for a breakup of the company. Again, that's questionable, unconfirmed chatter circulating now of an activist stake in Foxtrot Echo.
That'd be a scalp setup. AWX, I'll keep an eye on. ESPN, not interested in. AWX, the first candle to make a new high, is worth watching. ADMA should resume in about, well, less than a minute, about 40 seconds.
Pfizer shares at the high, 38.35.
So I'm using my hotkeys. All I have to do is punch those keys and orders are going out. So
all right, I sold. I don't like how it popped like it did, and then came right back down. It's not a good sign. So on my next trade was YUMC. There was news that came out that they were in talks to be bought out, and there's no price given to it, whatever. And this thing just shot up like crazy, right? I believe it halted, and then went even higher. So when I saw that, I mean, this thing went from $32 to $41. I mean, it's a massive move, right? So I'm looking to go short on this thing, and I don't typically do this trade because it's a high risk play because the trend obviously is to go up, and I thought the move might have not been justified. Like there's no numbers attached to it. No one knew what the buyout would be. No one knew if the rumor was true. It just seemed fishy. So I was looking at a point of entry, and my point of entry was going to be around $40 because it was getting there, and I had the 200-day moving average as resistance as well. So kind of two resistance levels here. I got it in at 40, and as 40 broke, it popped up pretty nicely over it. And inside this spike right here, I went long 500 share, or sorry, I went short 500 shares at 40.16 right here. Unfortunately for me, it didn't sell off. I thought it wasn't, I thought 40 was going to be it. That's kind of a pretty big number. It's a nice round dollar, like $40, $50, $60, those kind of levels. I just thought that would be it. No one would, if you were in this stock and you're running it up and you're thinking to yourself, okay, $40 is it. That's what I was thinking anyway. And unfortunately for me, it ran over 41, and it was up here around 41. What was the top? 41, 46 is where it finally capped out. It cracked the 200-day moving average, and I was like, oh my gosh, please come back down. So I was getting close to stopping out because 200-day moving average, I knew it was there. It broke that. I was thinking to myself, my absolute stop loss is going to be 42, but it would probably be over 41.50 to be honest. But I only took 500 shares, so at this point I'm only down about $500 or $600 through here, maybe more through this spike. But finally we got that. I mean, all this is candle over candle, candle over candle, candle over candle, candle over candle. Finally, we get a candle under candle. We're breaking lows now, breaking lows, breaking lows. And as it was coming back down, 10, 11 is where I covered right here. We broke this $40 level, and it popped right back up. I was like, are you really going to curl on me and then go higher again? So it kind of frustrated me, and I really wish I still had those shares because, as you can see, it did sell off. Went down to 36.50, so it would have been a nice win, but this candle scared me that it was going to curl and go again. And after being that red, and holding through this move, I just wanted to cover for a very small win just to get out. I was kind of sick of it. Didn't do what I thought it was going to do. Lucky to get out with some profit, and that's how I covered.
Print. So it'll resume exactly 5 minutes after that. Which for me is 10:01 and 34 seconds, so 10:06 and 34 seconds.
All right, I'm short at 40.14, but this is not looking
Hands
pretty.
on the buy button. Up. We'll see what it does. I'll give it a chance to pop back up, and we'll see if it flags and then curls back up. So it's kind of like a damage control.
All right, I covered at 40 or 39.96. I'm just getting out because I was pretty red on it for a little bit there. So this next trade was MTSL again, and it was very interesting moves that it was making. Like I tried to play it earlier, and at this point of the day, it was making these higher lows. It would pop up, pull back, pop up, pull back, and it was just making these higher lows. And if I do one of these, you can kind of see it right through here. It's just a very small pattern. And actually, looking back on it, it's more of a wedge that the thing was making. I think in the video, I call it out as a ascending triangle, where you kind of have a flat top and a bottom rising up, but it's actually more of a wedge, where the highs are coming lower and the lows are getting higher and creating this wedge here. And a lot of times you can play these shapes um, to whatever side the stock moves from. So in this case, it broke to the upside, and I went long through that. So there was a few things going for me with this setup. First off, you had the shape, which breaking to the upside would have triggered a long position. The second was, I believe, where are we at here? Kind of like candle over candle continuation on the 5 minute. This is the candle that we're inside of over here. Kind of continuation. And the third is just high day break. So at this point in the day, your high is right here. So we're breaking to the upside of this shape. We're breaking high day. So two things going for us in our favor that can contribute to the pop. So what happens? I go long, look 275, looking for the break high day. We break that, volume comes in, and then I see a big, it's not big, but it gets to 280, and you'll see it when I run the clip on the L2. It was sitting at 280, and the bid just stopped, or the buyers just stopped when they saw 280. There was a decent amount of shares there. Just kind of scared people off. So when I saw that, I want to be one of the first ones out. I sell at 277 for, what is that? 2 cents on 3,000 shares. That's $60. So $60 in about 30 seconds.
Activity yesterday in SEAS, hitting a high today, 22.39.
Watching MTSL here, it's got an ascending triangle on the 1 minute. So the break a high a day would actually break that.
ESPN,
Going long at 75.
Sandy Papa Michael.
So right now,
Moving,
just holding and
ticking
watching
lower
to
now,
see if it pops back
229.
up.
Bravo Sandy Papa Michael. GGP spiking here to the high. 21.5.
All right, I'm out 277 as I was pulling back a little bit.
Watch the break over 45.
Plus 2. So this next play was MTSL again, and this time it was kind of more of an L2 play slash volume stepping into it. The reason why I played this is because we had a whole dollar level coming up, and a lot of times when these stocks, especially the low float stocks, people play these whole and half dollar breaks thinking that shorts have to cover, and that they would use that as their stop loss. So I'm just looking for an entry at this point, and I saw a decent buyer show up on the bid, and the ask was much lower than the bid. So when I saw that the ask was starting to be taken out, I went long at 285. That's right. Let's see, right inside this candle right here. Also pushes this high a day. We go there. I'm thinking, all right, 290 cracks. It's going to ramp up into 3 as people buy, anticipating the break of $3. And you got to remember, at this point, we've got the candle over a candle in the daily. Everything's looking pretty for this thing to ramp up towards 3, break 3, go stupid and run. I mean, it's only 3 million shares outstanding. It's short share restricted. You can't see that. Sorry, I just realized that. But it's just a super small float. Shorts can't trash it as hard as they'd like. It's just everything's set up for this thing to run. So I go long, 290 breaks, and I'm I'm telling myself, all right, I'm green on the trade now. I'm not going to go red. And I think I call it out. I think I say, all right, stop loss is now break even. And that's kind of one of my rules of thumb. If I'm green on a trade, uh, I don't go red unless, of course, the bid just drops and just vanishes, and I don't have an opportunity to get out break even anymore. That's the only time I'll go red on it. But in this case, I was green. We get into the 290s on the break, and it's just kind of trickling. It's just kind of grinding. And that's not the price action I want to see. I want to see as we break 292, 293, 294, 295, especially the break at 295. I want to see this thing ramp up, break 3, and bust through 3. And it just was not doing that. So that was kind of a red flag for me. And as it was coming back down, you'll see that on the L2, there's like a 11,000 share buyer at 287, and it didn't. Usually, when a big buyer shows up like that excites buyers, and they'll just start buying, because they'll use that big bid as a stop loss. If it comes back down, they'll say, "Oh well, I can just sell into that bid." And it just didn't excite buyers. It's another red flag. I'm saying, all right, it's not going to crack 3. I just got to get out. Selling started to come through, and 287 was able to show up on the bid again. Everybody else was taken out above him, and I just sold into that because I just didn't want someone else to take it out. So another 2-cent win, $60, but a win's a win. I'm long MTSL 285. They don't have the biggest sway. Stop loss will be break even now. If we get over 290, I think $3 is probably pretty easy.
S&P says NAFTA negotiations remain a factor complicating forecasts for both Canada and Mexico. YUMC China shares continue to drift lower now, $38 on Yankee uniform Michael Charlie.
All right, I'm out 287. Try to get out 290, but it's not ramping up into 3, which is what I would want it to see. So I've just got to take my profit and get out. I'm nickel and diming today. Jeez. So I played MTSL again. This time I actually lost money on it. We had this little pop up through here. I'm really looking for this break of 3, and we go a pullback, candle over candle. I go long, looking for high day break and looking for the break of $3. And you'll hear me when I show the live clip. I'm frustrated because it's not doing what it should do. It should be ramping up into 3. We're at 296. This thing goes to 297. And we're 3 cents away from breaking $3, and this thing can't find volume. So it was just very unfortunate. And when I see that, big red flag, it's not ramping up into 3, I start exiting my position, and I exit in 2 lots, 2,000 shares at first at basically -1, and basically -1 overall. So I don't like how it's not ramping into $3, so it's not what you want to see.
We have the new chat room up and running, which is
76 has
slated
returned
for
to Paris
August.
after
So,
receiving
All right, here's the
error
ramp.
message.
Long at 295.
Crew and
show you where to
passengers
submit
are all
broker
safe.
statements for the 100.
It should be ramping into $3. It shouldn't just sit here.
High there was
Out half or 2/4 even. Still got 1,000 shares left. 2/4. I meant 2/3. I don't like this. It shouldn't just sit here at 3.
$100,000 of total profit. So any trader who's made $100,000 will be able to have a badge.
All right,
It's
I'm
gonna
out
be
the
one
rest.
other,
Minus
you know,
1
stats.
overall.
The trader.
So this is that whole dollar support level on a large cap play that I traded earlier, and I did the exact same play again here. So you can kind of see, this 176 levels was pretty big support early on. It came down here, bounced off of that 176 again, popped up to 177.5, came back down. Now we're at 176 again. So this is a previous support level. So I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna test it once, and I don't think it's gonna break it the first time. And you'll see on the L2 when I run the clip, there's like a 60,000 share buyer there. So as it's pushing down towards this 176 level, I'm gonna go long right inside this candle here. I'm going to go long. The bids start showing up, and I'm thinking, okay, it's not gonna break it this time. So I'll go long, and I got filled at 176.06, so it's a nice fill. So I'm risking 6 cents basically, $60. I take 1,000 shares on this trade. And I'm telling myself, okay, I'll get in here. If it goes to 176 and it looks like it's just going to break it, I'm out. And this is kind of one of the advantages of being a little fish in the big ocean. Playing with the big boys here is, the big boys, they're dealing in 50,000, 100,000 shares at a time, and I'm dealing at 1,000 shares. And it's a lot easier for me to get in and out and use them as my backstop. So it comes down, it's pressuring 176. Kind of I guess I tested it inside this minute. This is kind of the second test. There's still a huge buyer there. It's previous support level from earlier on in the day. This is like the 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like the 5th time that it's tested this level and held. So the odds are in my favor. So that it will bounce anyway. The odds are in my favor that it'll bounce. It tests it. I get in. It bounces. And when it just looks like it's going to reverse on the L2, like the bid just disappears, it doesn't keep going up, and I sell. And I sell for about $100, 176.16 is when I sell. And I'm glad I did, because it did eventually come back down and finally broke that 176 level. You can see next why that level was so important. Big volume as it broke that level, and it did travel down from there until it set in a new bottom at, guess what, 175, another whole number. So and you could use that same play right here, right? So we have a bottom at 175, pops up, pulls back, okay, defends it here, and now you can play the bounce. Double bottom, defended it, get in, you play a nice little bounce there. So that's the play, $100, and that's how I ended the first morning, the first hour in the morning.
The
176 test on Facebook.
This is the average volume today. It's the average price including volume, so it doesn't matter what time frame you look at it on. But I leave it on my 5-minute chart.
And that's how I ended the first hour of trading, up $546. Like I said, I finished the day up $987. So there were some more trades that I took on later on. And I think they were actually, no, they weren't all Facebook. I can't remember. I guess I could pull it up and look. But anyway, if you have any questions on my trading style or just want to learn in general, I run a free trading room. It's free. Come on in. Ask questions. We've got a lot of people that are learning how to trade, a lot of people that like to help new traders out. One of the reasons why we started this free Discord chat room is to help new people to the game, so to speak. I hate watching people on stock twits lose money and just get frustrated when I can easily see some of the mistakes they're making. Be like, stop doing this and do this, and your odds will improve greatly. And we've helped out a lot of people. We've had a lot of success. So please come on in. It's free. If you're interested in any of the chat rooms I personally subscribe to, link for all that is in the description down below. I highly recommend them. All right, I'll see you in the next video.